Good evening, everyone.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. My name is Dawn Wilson.
I'm Joe Nascimento.
I'm Cheryl Ann Marshall.
Welcome, welcome. So while Cheryl Ann takes a couple minutes or seconds to share us, we just want to say Happy Nurses Week. We want to thank all the nurses out there that do such an amazing job taking care of our family, our friends, strangers. We can't thank you enough for that. So we're thankful you have a week of recognition. So hats off and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for that. We saw a lot of graduates this week, including my son, Anthony Wilson. So congrats to all the parents, single couples that saw their kids through school, stood by them all this time, and the graduates themselves for all their hard work and dedication, all the kids in school doing an awesome job. We're so proud of you as a community, so thank you for that. And we are talking today about living, loving, and laughing. And we had an awesome episode last week talking about the social age differences. And we want to thank all the viewers for loving that episode so much. We got a lot of positive feedback, so thank you.
We did. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It was a really good episode. I enjoyed it.
Yes, and it was great getting all the feedback before the show, the comments, and all the participation, everyone sharing their life stories with us and making a difference. A lot of it was so heartfelt. So thank you. Okay. So living, laughing, and loving. Are we doing that? What's your definition of living? And please feel free to chime in, but let's discuss that. What does define living? Do you think you live?
I think that overall we try to, right? I think everybody tries to look and definitely live their best quality life. I think life here in the United States differs from a lot of our countries when it comes to what quality we live, and up to the point that we try to fulfill that side of living, laughing, and loving all together. I think we strive for it, but particularly here, coming from another country and not being from here, I think it takes a while until you find that stability for you to reach that, because it's very difficult in the beginning, looking at that dynamic. But I think for me, the overall, I fight to get to that point that I'm doing and reaching my optimal point of living my life to the fullest, which I think incorporates the living, laughing, and love dynamic, at least for me.
Yeah. Okay, so think a little bit about what you said. Like, we probably individually think we live the best life or the best versions of ourselves. And for me personally, probably depends on what stage in my life, right? When I was younger, I didn't have much control over living. Now I do, because I'm on my own, I have my own family, I choose where I go, I'm not controlled by anyone. But then I know so many different people that are stuck in relationships, and they talk to us as friends, but you want to say, why don't you live your life? If you're with someone for 3 years, 10 years, 20 years, and you're so unhappy, are you truly living your life, or is life passing you by? So it depends which perspective you're looking at it, right?
It does. Like I always say, everything is perspective. Every living thing. For me, living is momentous for me. When I think about what it is to live, I think to live is to enjoy the moment that you are in. I think to live is to recognize that this moment you will never get back, and to truly enjoy it for what it is. And I think if you cannot enjoy it, because of course not every moment you're going to be able to enjoy, some of the moments are very tumultuous, and I think those moments you have to look at it and see, what is it teaching me? What is it here? Why am I at this stage in my life? What is it trying to teach me? And all of that is part of living. If you're not learning, you're not living. If you are not learning, you are not living. You're not. And if you are not able to enjoy the moment that you are in, you're not living. You're not living.
Yeah. A lot of people live through traveling, so that's important, living in the moment, right? So they're finding time, learning, discovering new things. So absolutely true. Agree
Love
with
travel.
that.
They say
Yeah.
travel is experience. You sum it up to experience. You're learning other cultures.
Yes.
You're learning other places, what they have to offer in regards to their foods, in regards to their way of life. And traveling is definitely a way that people consider living, is what they think of as living when they travel and they see everything that's out of this world that they're currently in.
Yeah. So I think I live my life by being grateful. I'm so grateful every single day that I wake up. And I know a lot of friends, and they post prayers and send messages, thoughtful messages, wishing wonderful day. And I think it's just the gratitude that you grow up with and appreciate. Wake up every morning being thankful for another blessed day, whether it's snowing, whether it's raining. We see so many people that aren't blessed throughout the world in that manner, but then yet they're still happy. They don't have half the things that we have, a quarter of what we have, and they still get up and feel truly blessed and thankful because they're happy, right?
Because gratitude is an attitude.
Yeah.
Basically, gratitude is an attitude, is recognizing the things that you have and not comparing it with other people who have so much more in their minds, in their minds. Gratitude is definitely an attitude. I wake up every morning and I thank God that I'm awake. I thank God that my children woke up, that my husband woke up. I thank God that I still have my health, because I hear so many stories every day about people coming down with terminally ill diseases, and have to go through the process of whether or not they want to go through the treatment. And I think to myself, wow, at this point in time I don't have that, and I'm truly grateful for it.
Yeah. I remember I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and her mom, and her mom takes care of the elderly, and so her elderly is bedridden, and she's a home health care provider. So she takes care of this woman that can hardly move. You said that would happen for the show.
Yeah.
So she takes care of this woman, and the woman can't move. So I said, wow, it really sucks getting old. And then coincidentally, probably a couple seconds after I said it, my friend walked out the room, and she has cancer. And I don't think she heard the conversation, but it gave me pause to say, what would she think to be able to live that long,
right,
to be bedridden, to be grateful for yet another day?
Right.
So it's just, you really have to think about what you say, how you say it, when you say it. Of course, I'm sure if she heard it, she would understand, but it made me pause to say, here's someone that is struggling every single day for her life. She wants to get that old. She may want to get that bedridden versus the challenge that she faces now. So living is so important to each of us, and I think that's why I'm so grateful every day for all the lessons learned, all the positive people in my life, all the people that have been negative, because you also learn from those people as well.
You learn who you don't want to be.
Absolutely. And
When I've run into negative people, and I have what they have taught me is what I don't want to be.
absolutely.
What I do not want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether they're the bad boss,
Exactly.
whether they're the negative
I just don't want that
friends.
for myself. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's talk about love.
Interesting. I think one thing that I'll take from both of you when it comes to living, I think we're all experienced or have experienced the tragic side of life. I think this week people seem like you mentioned your friend, like I had a My aunt passed away, and it's been very interesting. One thing I'll take away from what you said about living in that moment in order to bring that happiness, I think every day that I live, I'm making sure that I'm living to the fullest
Yeah.
and being grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm so thankful now when I do things that sometimes it's the wrong mentality, or it might be the last time, but it's a reality that we face every day. So
Yeah.
that's why that side of being so grateful and living that moment is so important.
Very,
Yeah.
very.
So, I pretty much made the decision for myself that I do not want to literally, go without living to the fullest, being grateful, and not letting anything affect me to get there. So it's like a personal decision you
Yes,
make,
it is.
because then you really you solidify the idea in your mind that you're living your life to the fullest.
You nailed it. It's a personal decision that you made.
Like
just
you
nailed it.
pretty much you learn from the negative people. I don't want to be that.
Right.
But at the same time, let me take my own decision to live to the fullest, learn from them what not to be,
Yeah.
and live my life to the fullest point and enjoying and being grateful for health alone.
Yes.
Because it's so touchy today.
Gosh,
In the week that my aunt died, I saw, my dad's pretty much nanny have bladder cancer, everything coming down. Cancer is becoming such a widespread issue with us, and I see it happening more and more and more. So, that side of being grateful for living and living to the fullest, it has to go together now, especially nowadays.
I find myself choosing. I choose where I want to be. I choose my attitude every day.
Mm-hmm.
I choose who I'm going to call, who I'm going to reach out to, who I want to spend my time with. Because we know in the Caribbean communities we have so many choices on what we're going to do. But who you choose to be, like we get up and play volleyball every Sunday
do.
morning. And we choose who we're going to play it with. And we know we're going to have fun. So it's a
Everything's a choice.
choice every day.
Everything's
We're
a
still
choice.
getting our exercise from it. But it's such a mental clearance for us
It
to
is.
start our day in such a positive light. And I do the same thing on Saturday as well. And so it's choosing. I mean, I found myself telling people I couldn't come to events today because of my choices of where I wanted to be. I wanted to be with my friends. I wanted to be with her family because that was important to me.
Ew.
And so that's why it goes to living the best version of yourself where you
I
choose
love
to
that.
be as well.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's so important because sometimes, like you said, a lot of people don't have the opportunity that we have here. Not even, like you said, a quarter of the opportunity.
No.
I alone, because we play volleyball together, and sometimes I'm just sitting there in between games and I realize, look at the infrastructure and park that we're living in.
Yeah.
We have things that they're clean, they're kept, we're together, we have people that we like to rely on each other, and we have that personal choice and we can make that decision. How many people don't even come close to deciding who they have next to them?
Yeah.
Right.
Or
You know?
have the health to get up and do what we do
Do.
when we do it.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's why it hits home every single time when I have the opportunity of doing something that I love, to really cherish it,
Yeah.
for sure.
So love. Let's talk about love.
Yeah.
So,
That's one of my favorite words
yes, it is,
on
isn't it?
the planet is love. I think I might overuse it sometimes,
Yeah.
but overuse is probably what other people may think, but it's what I feel.
Yeah.
Every time I use it, it's what I feel. As overused as it may be, but it's very easy for me to love.
Yeah.
It's very, very easy for me to love. I don't have to love you and everything about you as a person, but there are things about you that I'm going to love.
Yeah.
That I'm going to love.
That's nice. I like that.
I think for me, because of my background, I would say love, especially in the last 2 years, has broken pretty much every barrier and taboo I ever lived in my life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well said. Well said.
And I'll say this, not really scared of saying it, but I come from a very hard Christian background, so it was very tough for me to accept certain things in my life. But once I accepted it, due to how much I love the person, the people, I don't have to really agree with what they do, but I love the person so much that it's fine. Everybody has their choices. My friendships, people that I care about,
Yes.
like everything, I learned so much culturally. People,
Yeah.
I understood their opinion and respected. Because once you break that barrier, it's endless.
Yeah.
It really is. It's such a deciding factor, at least for me. what I feel about it, you know.
Yeah. I think it's a blessing. It's a blessing. I look at it as a blessing to be able to like and love people so easily without judgment. I look at it as a blessing because then I have so many people in my life in so many different capacities, and I enjoy every moment that I have with each and every one of them. I enjoy every moment that I have with them.
I find I love a lot of people. I genuinely
Yes,
love.
you're a loving person. You're
am.
also a very loving person, yeah.
Yeah.
It's natural. It's very natural for you.
It is.
It's not
It
like that
is.
for everybody, guys. It's not.
But it's not.
No.
It is. And I think once you're, for me, I can only speak for me. I
Right.
think once you're an honest person, I feel like my honesty and the choice to be the way I am allows me to love genuinely, so to speak.
Exactly.
So even though someone may do me wrong, I don't find myself hating.
Right.
I find that myself, I probably feel more sorry for the person that they would choose to, because I think that they lost a great friend. So I'm confident in what I offer to anyone that comes into my life, so to speak. So I genuinely love people. I love my children to death more than anyone else. And my brother stands out, and my siblings as well, but I don't know them as much. But the three people I could say that I love without my heart the most would be my two children and my brother. But then I love extendedly to everyone else.
Right.
So it comes
Easily.
easily to
Yes.
us. But I don't think everyone does naturally.
I don't
love,
no, not everyone. And that's fine. But I would rather be this way. I would rather be this way. They say it's better to have loved and lost as opposed to never loving at all. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Someone
As
actually sent me
painful
a
as it
card
can be.
that said that.
Oh, really?
Long story.
As painful as it can be. Because
Yeah.
it can be. Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about laughter.
Laugh. There you go.
So some people laugh directly from their hearts or from
Right.
the bottom of their stomach or wherever we
From
laugh
their bellies,
from.
like
From the
belly
soul.
laughter.
From the soul.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So laughing comes naturally for me, as you can tell.
Yes. I love to laugh.
I think it's one of the best things we could do. It's
Do you laugh every day?
I do.
Oh.
Good.
At myself sometimes. Because you have to. It's part of being a good sport.
Yeah.
I think laughing is one of the biggest stress relief.
Oh yeah.
Because like once you get into them, one day you release those like happiness throughout your body, those endorphins, I guess. You just go to a new level. It's so good. It's so
Yeah.
satisfying, you know. I would love to recommend it to everybody, but like not everybody chooses to.
Yeah.
It comes back to that same thing, the choice.
Yes.
Is the choices that you make. So I definitely think that when we put ourselves in a position that we want to have fun, we want to enjoy, we want to laugh, we want to have a good time, I think it's one of the best things that you could ever choose to do.
Yeah.
And I think, being realistic, there are a lot of people that don't laugh every day. If you're in an abusive relationship, if you're a minor and you're controlled to some degree, you just don't wake up happy every day. And so it's finding that inner strength that despite whatever your situation is, whether it's abuse, whether it's health, there's so many things around you that can help motivate you. Just the mere fact that you opened your eyes for the morning, the mere fact that you can probably go to the beach, Mother Nature, even if you don't have the finances to do things. We live in such a beautiful world that we can take advantage of nature and what it provides to us naturally. So yeah, we have to look for all the positive things out there.
Yeah. It's kind of hard for everybody because we were thinking that every day we should find a reason to laugh. Every day we should be laughing, but there are people going through some serious rough times, and they can't find it in themselves. They can't find anything to really laugh about.
I totally
And
agree
that
with
is,
you.
yeah, that is really,
I think it's
really
very
sad.
circumstantial.
Yeah,
You know, it's unfortunate.
yes.
You know, and it's and sometimes I even will put an asterisk when I say it's a choice based, because we have to be fair for everybody, not only here in the United States but around the world. You know, it's very circumstantial. Sometimes you really don't have anything to laugh about.
Right.
Yeah, I
Right.
agree.
You know, so
Right.
taking that into consideration, you know, we do. I traveled a lot, and a lot of the times, you know, we are so, you know, blessed that sometimes we realize when we travel, we realize what we really have at
Yeah.
hand. They keep on coming back to United States, but it's very true. You go anywhere else,
We're blessed.
we're blessed.
Absolutely.
You know, and I feel that from the bottom of my soul. You know, like that's why I put the asterisk on the choice you make to laugh. Of course, you could laugh. You know, put yourself in the position, but a lot of the times it could be very circumstantial as well, depending on the position you're living in.
Yeah.
So I want to incorporate some of what our audience is saying. So thank you so much for tuning in. We have a very dear friend, Paula. Thank you so much, especially with what you're going through today. She says, I try to live my life to the fullest daily, but it's hard some days. Today I'm struggling after a long chemo session. All I can say right now is, Lord, have mercy on me. So thanks for sharing that, Paula.
Paula.
We know exactly how difficult a time you're going through. No one can see better than through your eyes, and the strength that you've shown us throughout the years with your struggle. Rosie, live, laugh, love is a sweet mantra-like message to keep you in focus for what is important in life. Our relationships with friends, family, and significant others. And thanks for everyone that's saying hi to the TCE team. We definitely appreciate you tuning in and making your comments here.
Thanks for keeping us company, guys.
For
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay, and a lot of people saying, you know, hang in there to Paula. Rosie, no matter what has happened to you in the past or what is going on in your life right now, it has no power to keep you from having an amazing good future if you walk by faith in God. God loves you. He wants you to live with victory over sin so He can possess His promise for your life today. So thank you, everyone
Yeah.
that
You're right, Rosie.
chimed in and
Yeah.
made your comments
Faith.
with us tonight and joined us, because you know we are talking about living daily, loving daily, laughing daily,
Yeah.
and living the best versions of ourselves to influence people around us, make a difference. We know how some people struggle every day, but just by being there for them, how much of a difference.
Yeah.
Just that phone call or that text to check on someone, you don't know what that could prevent or how it could highlight their day.
Right.
So, you know, the choices we make are definitely important.
And that's what it's all about right there.
Yeah.
You know, what just happened right there. It's somebody that, you know, shared something, and the comments itself showing support, us as a community, as a group, as a team, as friends in a relationship, is always helping each other get into that base that we're able to laugh, love, live our lives, you know, lift each other. And I think that's the most important essence of being a friendship and partnership, you know.
Yeah.
It's a simple gesture like that, like a phone call, a message, you know.
Of course.
And I think that's what in the end of the day, we have some very different topics, but in the end we're trying not only to talk, explain, inform, but it's little gestures like that that make the total difference why we're here.
It's
you
sharing.
know, it's sharing. It's
Right.
carrying, literally.
Yeah. And it's sharing. I love that, Joel, because it's sharing our honesty, our truth, our journey. And you're doing the same with us to make a difference and impact on others. And there's nothing better than that. There's no book that you read that has, to me, the impact it does is listening to other people and learning from them, or being able to converse or have a different opinion about something and learning from that.
Oh, yeah,
So
definitely.
absolutely.
I think it's also, you know, some people basically like to give this image of their life being perfect.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong in their life, and everything is all hunky-dory. And I think when people are open to showing their vulnerability, it's very easy for us to understand, put ourselves in their shoes. Most of us have probably been there before,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and can offer some words of understanding,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and that helps.
Oh yeah. I think the best life is definitely the best thing. You know, when you experience life and it's unscripted, and you see somebody else going through it.
Yeah.
You know, I think you could give some really valued advice.
Exactly.
So it's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I feel that's the best way to do it. And I think sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience is truly how you
Mhm.
learn.
It does.
You know, sometimes
is.
I go through that with my job all the time. Just
Right.
because it's not in the textbook doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, any final thoughts, please let us know. And we'll share them here as well. Please remember, you can always share our live episodes on your page as well, so others can chime in and give their opinions as well. But we definitely appreciate everyone that chimed in today. We're actually dedicating tonight's episode to all the strong people that are out there surviving, no matter what it is, whether it's this horrible disease, cancer,
Yes.
for fighting every single day,
Yep.
and for showing us what your strength is about. You know, can't say enough about Paula Hassan and the thousands of people she's impacted through sharing her journey so willingly and so openly with all
Which is
her
not easy.
friends and strangers.
Mhm.
And it's been amazing, the strength of this young, small, petite woman. And then our other friend Gina Jarrett, who is, you know, going through her journey, and the positivity you're getting from these strong women. And so many of you have friends or relatives that have gone through it or are going through it, and you see their strength. And when you see that, for me, there's nothing that can make me feel like sad or that I can't get through whatever struggle I'm going through. Because if they can do it, oh my God, there's no reason I can't. So thank you, women. Thank you all. Anyone's fighting a battle right now.
It's not easy. It's not easy, and I think we all know that. And I think you shouldn't be afraid to share your story, because it's a way of letting us know that life is not always what we think it should be, and it's a way of giving us the opportunity to be there for you in whatever way that we can. So share your story. Sharing is caring, and a lot of people out there want to care. A lot of people want to know, and a lot of people want to care.
And Jacqueline Williams asked a question: has any one of you gone through a life crisis?
It's a great question.
Any
Yes.
one of
Us.
us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Joelle.
I think my life crisis would have been as a young girl, and I've openly shared that story
Oh yes.
of being kidnapped and growing up with an abusive dad. So to answer your question, that would have been my life crisis. Everyone's life crisis may be different, but just for me, it's been there for, you know, my best friend, which my life crisis is nowhere compared, because I survived mine, and it made me a stronger person today, who I am.
Okay, but at that time when you were going
At
through
that
the life
time,
crisis,
I thought I was gonna die.
Okay, perfect.
Every day I
Right.
thought
I
my
thought
dad
as much.
would,
Yes.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one
And
day
what-
I would be
and,
eaten
and
to
how
death.
old were you again? I'm sorry.
I was 4 when I was kidnapped. I wouldn't say the abuse, physical abuse we're talking about. It didn't happen then, but it happened throughout my high school years and primary school, which is like middle school here, years.
So between what age
About
and what
13
age
and
was
18.
it?
No, younger. So probably between like 10 and 17.
So between 10 and 17, you were fearful of losing your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't every single day, but you just
Right.
didn't know when.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
everyone's life crisis is different, but that's my answer to that question, Jacqueline. And if you have one, please feel free to share that with us if you're willing to do that.
What about you, Joelle? What was your life crisis?
I think it was probably more in the love department. I was like in a long
Yeah.
relationship. You know, like anybody probably could relate. I feel a little selfish even talking about mine because yours was dramatic
Right,
as
no,
hell.
but in your
No, but
life,
that
that
was
was
yours.
yours.
But in my life, I'll probably say love related in the I guess in the relationship. You know, it's you go and you love somebody for a long time. You really give it all. So many people can relate to this, and you know that you lost your relationship, but you still hang around knowing that you lost it.
Oh yeah.
I think that was probably for me for about 2 or 3 years, knowing that you lost it and you
Long
did.
time.
Yeah.
It's
But you tried.
no, I left with my head held high. I totally understand that, but it doesn't take away the taste of failure.
Oh.
I think that's
It
the.
didn't.
But in my
Yeah.
sense, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
You know, like I could have done things differently,
of course.
but I was young. It was a lot of different things. You know, you got a lot of pressure on you during that time. But you know, you live and you learn, and it changed me forever.
Of
Yeah.
course.
I will say this. Part of what I said about before about love being the key for my life, if that didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have the same mentality.
Yeah. So it all
So-
happens for a reason, like we said.
Yes,
Right?
it definitely made me a better person.
Yeah.
So it definitely happened for a reason, even though it was extremely painful, super uncomfortable, and sad. It taught me a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
So I'll take it from there.
How about you, Sherilyn? Any life crisis?
If I had, I mean, I could talk about quite a few life crises, right? But if I had to choose a real one, because sometimes I could be dramatic. Sometimes because at that point in time I'm feeling so much about whatever it is that I'm going through.
Right.
So please. But if I had to really get serious about my life, what my life crisis was, wow, I would have to sum it up to when I went through cancer 6 years ago. I went through breast cancer 6 years ago, and I think that's when I felt like, oh my God, wow.
Yeah.
That word is just so
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can't
think
even
anything.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah, so I think that's what I would sum it up to. I mean, and it's been 6 years almost, like within this last few weeks, basically. So I see like some memories coming up on my social media, and it takes me right back to that time, and I'm like, wow.
But sometimes those memories are
Wow,
not
no,
so good
no,
memories,
no,
right?
No,
So
no.
thanks for asking that question.
Yeah.
Hey,
because
thank you, Jen.
It,
That was
it
awesome.
actually brought out three
Yeah.
different crises
Yeah.
that I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate to. So we
Mhm.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
And Joan says, great show. Thanks for doing what you guys do. Love and blessing. Lots of blessings for Paula. And Joan says, continuous prayers for Paula and Gina. Absolutely. So we definitely thank you all for tuning in tonight for this episode of Live, Laugh, and Love. And you can hear the appreciation that we all have for
sure.
life
For
and
sure.
love and laugh. And we hope you share this episode. And thanks again for tuning in to another episode of the Caribbean Edge. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Ciao for now. Take
Ciao
care.
for now.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.